Without XRP builders, there's no progress. And right now, and right now, there's some big problems out there. That progress is actually stalled. Developers are burned out. It's unfortunate. Projects are stalled. Stable coins are exploding in adoption. And there's one big question that we have to ask right now.
Has crypto already lost? I mean, if the world moves on to stable coins and tokenized dollars, what happens to XRP, DeFi, and every investor still holding on? We're breaking down DS's viral threat on Builder Burnout, what's fueling that fatigue, and how the rise of stablecoins could rewrite the entire crypto roadmap. You're watching On the Chain. Let's go. Welcome to On the Chain. Everybody drop where you're coming in from. Where are you coming in from today?
Chain.
Chef, why are we not live? Why don't I see it live on my side?
That's weird. It says go live on my side.
So does mine. I don't think we're live, dude.
That's weird. Are we live?
I don't think we are.
Did we not go live?
I don't think we did.
It says it's showtime. And it says, but people logged in. It looks like, hey, oh no, maybe not.
I don't think we went live. It was weird. I thought I saw
we didn't go live. All right, let's try this again.
All right,
we're not live.
Let me scroll it back. Hang on. That's so fucking weird, dude. I saw something blink, but maybe it wasn't it.
Oh my god, that's so funny. All right, here we go again. One.
Well, this time you can don't fuck it up.
No, two. We actually live? We're live. Look at that. Without XRP builders, there's no progress. And right now, I'll tell you what, that progress has stalled out. Developers seem to be really burned out. XRP space, maybe even across the board with other crypto projects are going silent. Stablecoins, though, are exploding across the board in adoption. There's one big question that we really have to ask ourselves right now.
Has crypto already lost? I mean, if the world moves on to stable coins and tokenized dollars, what happens to XRP, DeFi, and every investor still holding on? We're breaking down DS's viral threat on Builder Burnout, what's fueling the fatigue, and how the rise of stablecoins could rewrite the entire crypto roadmap. You're watching On the Chain. Let's go. This time we are live. We had a little glitch where it said we were live, and then we're talking. I said, I don't think we're live. We are live.
The funny thing is, Rod saying you're live now. Wait a minute. Maybe they heard the beginning.
Glitch because it went for a second. It went live. Then I looked. I'm like, we're not live, Jeff. This is really weird.
It went live and then wasn't live.
Yeah, to me it was a little quirky sort of a thing there.
Everybody, see, it was. It was live. It was
because it was weird, right? I mean, like I saw it flash on the screen, and then nothing, and I'm like, we're not live, Jeff. I don't know. It still says that was glitchy as hell, man. I don't know what happened right there, but
really
welcome everybody. Drop where you're coming in from. We are live.
Are we live?
I don't know.
You're asking the question. Are we live?
We played twice. What was weird was it played, and we thought, like, well, did it go live? Because it showed it wasn't live, so we had to run through it again. I need to see that twice. I think you already did. Dang, Jeff, this is scary as F. I'm a huge XRP investor. That intro, OMG, don't worry about it. We're gonna break it down. You're all screwed. That's how it is.
That's it. And that's all we have for tonight.
And thank you and good night.
Thank you and good night.
Watching but swell.
Just repeat everything we do twice.
I have to say that swell was swell. Like so. The morning of it opened, the doors opened at 7:30, and I was there at like 7:20, which is very unusual for me because I'm usually like right on time or just like running 2 minutes late. We kind of tend to do that, Jeff. But and I saw James Rule was there, and I was talking. And he goes, "What happened? Oh, they won't let us in." I think it was like 7:10. I was like 20 minutes early. And then I saw Molly there as well. I saw some other people there. Max was there. A bunch of people were just hanging out. They wouldn't let us go in until exactly 7:30. And when I went in, I was like, "Oh, thank you." I go, she goes, "Have a swell day." I'm like, "Did you just say that?" She said, "I did." Swell. And then there was Tuesday night. Ripple sort of party that was held in this this sort of Spanish place, and they were walking around with margaritas and palomas and all kinds of great drinks and hors d'oeuvres, and there was a whole bunch of food you could get, some paella, and it was just fantastic. That was exactly going through my mind. I said it. I go, margaritas, and no one knew what I was talking about, Jeff. I thought I was crazy.
Risky?
Then,
Risky?
then
Hell
they
yeah, it
start
was
talking
risky.
about XRP and you
risky?
shout out.
And they
Yes,
called it
risky.
the Swellabration. But next year, as I've mentioned yesterday, Swell is open to everybody in the XRP community. No more, you're gonna have to like do this whole dance where, and I was just really thrilled to have been a part of it. It was something really great. As a matter of fact, before we get into that viral clip, we're going to go ahead and bounce. I'm going to start off with two clips that I actually, here's what's funny is that this session that I'm about to play, I play two excerpts from, was the best. I wish this would have been 3 hours long. I would have stayed there the whole time. I had the most fun. It was Michael Arrington interviewing David Schwartz and Ashish Burla, and he's funny as hell. And I now know why they didn't live stream this, because there were a couple F-bombs dropped, and it was off the cuff, and there was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of laughter going on. And I kept looking for it. I would love to rewatch the whole thing, but unless somebody recorded the entire panel, I don't know that it exists. But it wasn't live streamed. Oh, don't even get me started on that, man. That was the 2-7 team looked like the 7-2 team, and vice versa. The good news is that the good news is that was the Dolphins Super Bowl, so they're out of the playoffs already. Imagine that. You win a big game and you're out of the playoffs. So have fun, guys. Enjoy your one loss, your one win. Now you won 3 games all year. Good luck. You won't even make the damn playoffs. But there you go. Damian A says hello, everybody. Johnny Pix is here. RLUSD compliments. There you go. There you have it.
What would Silent Bob say about Swell? That's a good one.
That's a good. Yeah, I think he said everything.
Come on, man, Berserker.
He just said it. Nothing.
Nothing.
Jay has a lot to say. Come on, man, Berserker. Watch your glitches. Watch your glitches. Who's knows? But it was really good. So that was a really good panel. Let me go ahead and see if I can load one of these videos up here. They were fantastic. Let me see if this is the right one. Okay, here we go.
Sergeant wants to know if New York got any worse within the last few days. Can it get any worse?
Well, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but I did take an unofficial poll when I was there. And like 11, 12, maybe 13 people I talked to, only one person said that they were excited and happy. And the rest of them were not excited or happy. They were very mad and angry. And one guy who was a cab driver said he's going to take early retirement. He lives up in Rhode Island. He said,
moving to Florida.
And he said that he has a buddy down there. He keeps telling him to move down there. And I'm like, well, there's going to be a mass exodus. I go, well, I have a condo for sale in Boca. So if anyone wants to come down and snatch it up, I mean, let's go. And a lot of people, and he just said, like, I can't do New York anymore. I just can't. And then 60 or 70 police took early retirement the next day, and the police chief retired. So it's going to be some exciting content for us.
Yeah.
But this is the
phones are ringing off the hook over here.
Yeah, the agents are going crazy in South Florida. There's going to be another mass exodus. Big money is going to be leaving. Businesses are going to be leaving, and socialism is going to. The people who are dumb and uneducated, the youngsters, are going to find out real soon that it doesn't work. But don't worry, they're going to find out. They have to feel the pain themselves. This is the panel. This was a question here. They're just. I only grabbed a little bit of it because. Problem is, you're holding the phone up, you're blocking other things, and sometimes there are the 2-camera shoot going on. I don't want to block those. You don't want to be that guy when they're streaming it live with holding it up. So I was just trying to mind my own business, not be too crazy there. But here we go.
The CEO job after Andy Klein.
He wanted someone more handsome than you, that's all. Well, Evernorth is a XRP digital asset treasury, and what Evernorth does is you can get exposure to XRP, and eventually what all the XRP ecosystem has to offer via a publicly traded stock on the NASDAQ. The ticker symbol is XRPN.
And yes.
What do you think about that?
Okay, so there was a lot of echo in this. So when I removed it, you saw some of the audio. Some of the stuff got clipped, but it was unlistenable before because there was such a heavy echo in the room and it was far away. So when I boosted it and did some of that stuff sort of fell by the wayside. So Jeff, do you tell me what we're gonna be doing tonight for the raffle? What's the
Well, not 100% sure if it's going to be ready. If it's going to be ready, it'll be awesome. And if it is ready, we're going to be giving away a song, NFT of the song called "Cuteness Kills." And so I'm waiting for the mint to finish. It's been taking a while. So as long as it's going to be of the white tribe, so as long as that's ready before the end of the show, we're giving that away.
Okay.
That was the game plan. It's pretty kick-ass.
Phoenix Starborn, our old pal Phoenix Starborn. He is risen like a phoenix from the ashes. What's up, Phoenix? He's a long time. This is like one of our early followers. He pops in every once in a while. There's Art. Who never misses a show, and Steve also.
Said I'm moving to New York to sell outdoor camping equipment. I'll make a killing on
Problem is nobody has any money because with socialism, eventually you run out of other people's money, so no one's gonna have any money to buy it.
Crypto informants, I've tested positive for XRP.
That's funny. Wait, who said that? Crypto informants, yeah. That is funny, yeah. Crypto informants. I have to tell you, Ashish is the man. I had a great conversation with him and invited him on the podcast. He said, yes, I will come on there. He tried to introduce me to somebody that would set it up for him, but we kept missing. And then something really cool, when I walked into the XRP event, there was a table set up in the back, and Ashish was only there at the beginning, but it was Evernorth. By the way, I do have an Evernorth shirt for you, Jeff, that I picked up for you.
All right.
And I got another shirt for you that I picked up. I just gotta send it off to you, which I'll do this week. But as soon as I walk in the room, I hear Jeff. I'm like, who the hell's that? I look over and it's Ashish waving at me. I was like, damn. I was like, all right, let's go. This is good. But it kind of scared me a little bit because I thought it was an empty room, But I walked in and it was pretty cool. But he's a great dude, man. He's such a down to earth guy. I mean, taking the CEO position there and talked a little bit about Evernorth and what he's doing. So we'll get him on the podcast. We'll talk. We'll go through it and talk about a lot of stuff. And then I'll save it for the podcast. But I did ask him about the shirt, Jeff. I did ask him about the shirt.
Oh yeah,
we'll save that for when he comes on the podcast. We'll talk. We'll do it live.
That'll be great because he bought a whole bunch.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Well, there's a story behind that he'll tell. Yeah. But this is the one. You don't hear Arrington in the beginning, but Michael Arrington says, like this is how crazy this interview was. He was just off the cuff, laughing, joking. It was so much fun. I thought, like, is this swell? Where the hell are we? Michael Arrington goes, is Brad Garlinghouse a good boss? It's a little soft in the beginning, but then you can hear this. Here we go.
Brad a good boss? Is he an honorable boss? Is he a just boss?
I don't work for him anymore, so but I will say just boss 100%. He's one of the most fair people I've ever worked for, and I will say I've learned a lot over the years from Brad. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now. Oh, it's going to be replayed, by the way. It's not. I understand that 30 work that I just like tweeted in these things. So, honestly, I wouldn't be in the position I was.
He's the greatest ever. David, what?
I will say he's the second greatest boss I have ever worked for. Anybody know who I would say is number one? That's why I say, yeah, it's
Of course.
I'm really careful. It's also true, but I would say it even if it wasn't. So yeah, I'm just not
Well, now David's Brad's boss. He's joining the boards.
That's what Brad said to me. He said, I guess you're my boss now. I love that. I guess Sornum?
And I don't know. Let's see if we can work something out.
Oh my God.
I would have liked to have grabbed more than that because it was good. But unfortunately, when it clipped some of the audio, it's clipped some of the audio too. But it just was unlistenable before. I didn't realize how much echo and how soft it was in the room.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was great being in the room, and like sometimes in the second row, and you're like right there. And this one I happened to be off a little bit to the corner, depending on what time you actually got in the room. But they would have like snacks and different things going on, for a while. So it was pretty good. Let's see, what is this? Do you think that mayor will put the Put Donald's rate up.
Put its rates up.
Where's Monica? Monica opened it up. She was fantastic. By the way, I did have a chance to meet her. I did have a chance to I'm not going to mention what I talked about here, but I did ask her a few questions. I went right into interview mode. I just was going to go up and say, hey, my name's Chip. I do a podcast on the chain. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. Just a meet and greet, whatever. Someone snapped a pic. He'll probably bring the pic, whatever. And then I don't know, all of a sudden some questions hit me. I started going with the questions. Boom. What about this? What about this? Boom, 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 boom. No, I think she wanted to get away from me. So she like bailed.
After that.
But no, she's got a, I'll tell you what, I felt her walk into the room before she was even in the room. Like I felt like the room energy changed, and I went like this, and it kind of like went, whoa. And I looked over, and she had just walked in the room, and she had this sort of like ambiance about her. And she's tall, Jeff. Man, really? I was like, she's pretty tall. I felt like she was, I don't know, she must be like close to 6 foot.
Wow.
I don't know. She felt like it was like I was, like she was pretty tall. But she's very nice. And what I really appreciated about David, Stu was walking around just like one of the locals, man. He was just like hobnobbing with everybody, chilling out and stuff. And
that's really cool.
I chatted with him very briefly, but it was just funny walking around. Like, you see all these people just walking around, and Brad wasn't. I don't think Brad was at the cocktail hour like the night before, but I saw him plenty, kind of popping around. David Schwartz was everywhere. David really had a great time. I thought they were all just very personable to anybody who wanted to come up and have a chat. And they all treated everybody with respect. Like they were just like, because that's got to be, it's a lot, man. People coming up to you all the time, especially David at the XRP, the community event, which was the last night, which was Wednesday night. And that was I was shocked. It kind of reminded me of, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but I got to hang out with Rob Licker, meet Rob in person finally.
Yeah.
Rob took off a little bit earlier. And I met just a ton of people that came up to me and like, hey, and then I got to meet some other cool people that I was fanboying about. Like I got to meet like Lady K, and I got to meet like Stone. They do the spaces on a pretty regular basis. I met Zach Rector. He's a cool guy too. I don't look up to too many people, Jeff, but he's like 6'6".
That's amazing.
And I'm like looking out to him. I'm almost 6'3", and he's like 6'6", and he's like, walking around. He was sporting some nice suits. Very nice guy. I'm trying to think of who else. Dude, there was so much tall energy at that place. I was like, damn, there's one guy was like 6'9" walking around. I was like, what the hell, dude? A lot of tall people. And I was like, I should have cut my long hair. I saw lots of dudes in business suits with long hair. That was even crazier for me to witness, and then lots of man buns there. It was, I just would have expected it to be, it was, all kinds of stuff. Those Europeans love to wear those sweaters, like the suit jackets aren't like, they're too good for suit jackets.
Yeah.
Then there was a Korean delegation. Those guys were dressed beautifully. I met this one dude from a bank who's looking to buy an exchange. And I go, look, let me see your list. And I looked at his list. I'm like, so money's not it's an issue for you guys. So they're a giant investment bank, and they're looking to buy a US exchange to get in, to start becoming a player. But he showed me his list, and I'm like, there's a couple missing on there. And I said, there's one that you probably should look into that's based in New York. Let me see if I can hook you up with the CEO. We had him on the show. He's like, oh, I don't know that one. And somebody else is standing there like, I don't know that one either. So a lot of it was just making some connections, telling some people what to do. And again, thoroughly enjoyed the hell out of the experience. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you there next year. So we'll see. Nice. So that's where Monica was. She was, and then I thought she did great too. She had a good interview with the person that runs digital for NASDAQ. That was a really solid interview. I was the one that kind of kicked it off. Ashish Burla was the MC. He did a fantastic thing. So he comes out the day after the election, and he goes, well, this happened yesterday. I had nothing to do with it. There's a new mayor elected. Again, I had nothing to do with it. So that was a lot of fun. Lots of fun had by all. Okay, let's get to this thread, Jeff. Let's talk through this. I know the guy's Dirk. This is Dirk from Expector. He put this up. So why don't we switch off on these? I'll take the first one. You take the next one. We'll read through it. But it's a thread. He said, if you've been feeling tired or disconnected from crypto lately, you're definitely not alone. Over the past year, I've watched countless founders quietly shut down, pivot, or sell their projects, not because they didn't care, because they did everything right and they still hit a wall.
Go back. So, and there's a lot of deep meaning into that. I mean, think about all, you know, the amount of time and effort that goes into the development. And there is, you know, you do run into a wall. A big part of it is that there's no adoption on the other side. You know, you could build the project, you know, but there's still something missing. You know, we're still, you know, pretty early, you know, and then we look at what they're building and are we fully adopting? And the other part of it is where's the funding coming from? You know, we know like on the Ethereum side, yep, there's a lot of money that was poured into it. Solana's getting a lot of traction right now. Some of the others got a lot of publicity and traction. And up until this point, uh, everything that the XRPL has got very little publicity. And, you know, we're not seeing a lot of VC running after builders and developers in the space. Maybe that's getting ready to change. So, but
Well,
let's go through this a little further.
it
What
has
do
a
you
good
think?
possibility to change. That's going to be one
Yeah.
of the first sort of initiatives rolling out with the Zao DAO. It's going to be called the Zao Hub. And that's going to be where you're going to have VCs and developers and business people and all kinds of like-minded people be able to go like a matching service where you can go in there and connect with people. I think it's really welcome in the community because, you know, Jeff, you and I tried to find a developer and it was like pulling teeth. You know, we went everywhere trying to find the right developer. So these are devs that can go in there, but even money people, just business people, anybody looking to try to connect with somebody is going to be the Zao Hub. So I think that'll be pretty powerful. I wanted to get the Momentus question here. Did they announce where the next swell will be? They did. It's going to be in New York City. One of the things that Brad Garlinghouse explained was when they first did the first swell, it was kind of came about in a weird way that in 2017, what happened is there was a CBOS happening, and then I guess Swift kind of prevented Ripple from attending. So they said, well, screw you. That was in Toronto. So they said, well, they rented a warehouse and they sort of attracted a lot of people to come to that instead. So it kind of backfired on them. And so that was the first swell. And every time they had a swell, they moved it to different places. One of the things that Brad said at the close of the swell 2025 is that a couple things are changing next year is that they're going to host it again in New York. And so that's at least what I remember hearing. And they're going to open it up because Apex was generally for more like developers and then maybe some business, where a lot of what Swell were business partners, a lot of that. So what they're doing is going to change Swell to make it open to the community. They're not going to have anybody where if the XRP community wants to show up, they can show up. So there's not going to be sort of restrictions anymore. And I imagine they'll probably have to move it to like the Javits Center or something bigger, Madison Square Garden. They're going to have it somewhere because I can imagine that if people show up in mass, it's going to be thousands of people, not just 800 that were there when I was there. So that's what I can tell you. But Mandami will confiscate everyone's XRP as well. That's possible.
Yeah.
I can pry it from my dead cold fingers. So Jeff, take that second one there.
Number two, some were building far outside the casino, trying to create something genuinely meaningful, and we definitely saw a lot of that. You know, this really reminds me, and we talk about this so many times, of everything that the .com era went through. You know, but here we have people that are passionate, right, and they're looking on chain and trying to figure out, you know, what can we build that is going to solve a problem. And many people put their heart, sweat, and tears into something, but they're not really solving a problem. It's not a recognizable problem that people are looking for a solution. You know, they might see it as a problem. They build something so far out like you said, outside of the casino. You know, they want that. They're doing everything, months, years, grinding, and there were no users on the other side. Part of that's mainly because there was no, you know, it wasn't a sought after, you know, again, you know, I don't need a solution. And I've talked about this quite a bit. I'm not saying this is the case, but let's say, you know, someone's building a credit card right now that strictly only uses your digital asset and spends your digital asset every time. Do you really need that? Or is there going to be massive user adoption if that's all it did? You know, I mean, it would be cool because the cool factor is that it could do an instant conversion into USD, no matter where you are. You could use it, or it's somehow, you know, is leveraging your asset and providing some sort of credit. But I think overall, that, you know, when we see these types of rollouts, very I don't have stats on it, but I would think would be less less users engaging in something like that. But there's so many other projects that have been built that might not even have that kind of recognition. The market didn't really care. The other part of it, I think it's interesting looking at DS's commentary. There's, again, it comes back to the money that was available to even, keep funneling into a project like this to help them continuously build. A lot of these guys bootstrap their projects all by themselves. Right. And so now eventually you keep banging your head against the wall trying to say, hey, I got this project, and there's no users and no support coming from the blockchain associations, let's call it. And eventually these builders get, total burnout. And, according to DS, it's harsh, but it's a pattern, and we've seen it before. And
Yeah.
it's so meaningful. This thread that he put together, Chip, I mean, there's just so much thought that he put into, every step of this.
Well, he's lived it too. I mean, he's lived it. He's seen it. He's interfaced with it. It's not like it's not something he doesn't know about. He knows that firsthand. He said in the early internet, attention mattered more than the revenue. Then the crash came, and with it, exhaustion. Hundreds of startups died, not because the internet was a bad idea, but because expectations were completely out of sync of reality. Sound familiar?
Exactly. So 4 here, crypto is tracing the same curve from the ICO hype of 2017. Man, that was crazy too. All the ICOs that were dropping in 2017, to the NFT mania of 2021, to the meme coin chaos of 24. Speculation has outrun substance, and it's all about the FOMO. And he does hit it, pretty well based on the speculation. All of this, the price movements, much of the price movements are based on speculators and just speculation. Now, founders are exhausted, investors are cautious, users are calling out the bullshit, but I can feel the pendulum starting to swing back. And this is where he definitely, starts showing that there's some optimism out there. And I think we all see it and feel it, that there's definitely some optimism, and the whole industry is starting to move in an interesting direction right now.
Which is great. And this is exactly the moment when the next generation of meaningful projects gets born. When the noise fades, only conviction remains. Momentum, not hype, becomes the real advantage.
Right. And then number 6 here, why founders lose momentum. Building anything in crypto is a momentum game. You stack small wins, build confidence, and try to keep moving forward. And I would say that's probably, all projects, not just crypto specific. But crypto momentum is fragile. It's built on volatility, prices, narratives, liquidity, community mood. Lose one, and we need to show more. There's a little. Can you click the show more?
Yep.
Oh, and that's it. I thought there'd be something.
And the whole rhythm collapses.
And the whole rhythm collapses, and that's right. Community mood is a big one. Can be very
for sure,
fickle.
man. And then, of course, it just trounced my my thing here. Here we go. So number 3 big reasons why there's burnout. Number 1, emotional fatigue, the constant noise, the funding pressure, regulatory fog, skepticism is enough to wear anybody down. Number 2 is the narrative chaos. Every few months, attention jumps. NFTs, then meme coins, then AI, then real world assets, and the next change, and blah, blah, blah. And you either pivot endlessly, or you can risk irrelevance. And number 3 is the market just doesn't care. You can build something great, still get ignored. Timing kills more projects than execution. Just like in sales, Jeff, time kills deals. Time kills everything.
Time kills everything. Sir John actually brings up a good point on this. Many crypto projects are pure marketing. If they can continue the marketing hype, and there was a timing, some of them just hit the timing, perfectly, and they never gave up. But if you think about like Shiba Inu, right? The Shiba Inu coin that came out, if that was their end all be all, but then they're like, oh, the Shiba verse, and we're gonna keep building, and there's gonna be real world development, and they just kept figuring it out, and they just kept adapting, and you got in bobbing and weaving up, and they also had a larger sum of money that kind of went behind it. But I think about, like, XRP Cafe the low engagement it had in the beginning. But those guys, we've talked to them as we rolled our project out, that little by little, I mean, they're still around. They don't have anywhere near the engagement of OpenSea. OpenSea's millions and millions of dollars in transactions are flowing through there on a regular basis. And the XRP Cafe does not have that kind of engagement.
Well, they're number 7 or 8 though of all of those.
That,
So
yeah,
they picked up
it's
significantly.
amazing.
Well, that's
Yeah, they
also
picked
dropped
up
off on OpenSea
significantly.
though. But if
Right,
you own
yeah.
ETH, you don't care about dropping 4 or 5K on
Right.
an NFT. Well, Sir John's saying, how much does it cost to
Yeah,
develop a
yeah.
project for a working beta? Well, with vibe coding, I've vibe coded a couple things and got them up and running pretty fast. It's pretty scary.
Mhm.
It's not 100% there, 'cause sometimes you have to deal with authentication. You got to deal with some security rails. You got to deal. There's some other things that aren't necessarily built in, so you might need a developer to kind of get you the final mile. But it does happen, and that it is happening much faster. But vibe coding is really a thing.
Right.
Hey, Matt, it was nice to meet you too. Yeah, I really appreciate you putting that put that back up there. Yeah, these guys. I met them at the party for Flare, and I met them before in New York City. It was 2 years ago at the proper party, so that was really cool. I did get to meet Hugo Filion as well. I don't know if I told you that, but I did
Yep.
I did have a little bullshit session with him using the back and of the room, and we just kind of bullshitted for a while. I asked him to come on the podcast. He said he would. I said, man, I invited you in. He goes, you reached out to my people? I go, we did. He goes, and what happened? I go, I don't know. We didn't hear from him. He goes, what? All right. He takes out his phone. He goes, Chip, you got WhatsApp? And I said, of course I do. He goes, oh, that's so unusual. No, he goes, nobody in the US uses it. I said, not unless you have European friends. I have friends all over Europe. That's all we use is WhatsApp. Then he laughed. He thought that was funny. But he gave me his personal one. He's like, all right, you got my number, man. I texted him, hey, Hugo. He's like, hey, Chip. So like I got the direct line to Hugo anytime I want to reach out to him. And
awesome.
I'll give him a little bit of time to decompress, but we'll try to get Hugo on here as well. So
there was another project. The other part is the polarization within the community. Look how much they beat up on Flare, right?
Mhm.
I mean, here's someone that's actually building, developing, coming up with something that is going to create the next phase of crypto usage. And the flack that he got when they rolled out Songbird, it's just crazy. The community is so fickle on some of this stuff.
100%.
If it doesn't return, instant get rich quick, speculative, hype and FOMO, then they just want to FUD it and they go after it.
FOMO,
right?
Jeff. It's all about the FOMO.
All about the FOMO. DS said when that happens, the work that used to feel effortless suddenly feels heavy. That's when founders start whispering to themselves, maybe I should pause. Maybe it's time to shut it down. But before that moment hits, there are ways to keep your energy and momentum alive. And I think this is kind of walking through the mental anguish of a builder, that's seen it, lived it, felt it, ups and downs, hitting a low point and getting ready to kind of boost himself.
Being a
up
founder and selling your Bitcoin to fund the project sounded like a good idea at the time. Now,
Right.
when you look back on it, Jeff, he says, how do you keep momentum alive? Well, first of all, you trust your instinct, but you stay aware. So you don't swing between chasing every new trend and ignoring reality. The best founders balance conviction and awareness. So your instinct drives the product. Awareness keeps it relevant.
That's it. The number 10 here, which is 2 to that point. Don't build in isolation. Being heads down sounds noble, but it's dangerous. You got to talk to other users, or you got to talk to users. You have to DM other founders, right? You got to share drafts, test ideas publicly. You'll be surprised how many people feel the same pain that you do. Crypto rewards openness, not secrecy.
Yeah, and number 3, choose investors that are teammates for their belief, not for their money. This is a big one. I know when I was looking for VC money, went through 49 people. Some of those were like angel, and every single time they wanted to take the idea and say, "Oh, it's this." I'm like, no. Well, how do you monetize that? Well, I don't know. We'll just build it. I'm like, okay, so we don't have. So they would change it enough. And this point here about investors and teammates for their belief. The belief a lot of times is in your product, or at least understanding what they're investing in. Because a lot of times, if you ever see a private equity money, I've been part of some pretty large firms that have been purchased by private equity. What's the first thing that happens? They kill the product. They don't try to. They try to get it more. They try to get it more lean. They try to fix some problems over there, and they end up creating bigger problems to get rid of a lot of the people who were responsible for stuff. So they start cutting people, cutting jobs, cutting middle management, bringing new CEOs in who don't understand the business, don't understand the tech, and of course can't provide anything when it comes to vision. So these are kind of, they walk hand in hand. So he says when things go well, every investor looks smart. When things go wrong, only the ones that believe in your vision matter. Same goes for early hires. Alignment is greater than skill set.
It's good. And then 4 to that, redefine what progress means. In a down market, everything declines, price, metrics, mood, but progress isn't always visible. This is interesting. It's finding your first 100 true users, shipping something that actually improves retention, getting one believer who shares your conviction, and then that's real progress. That's interesting.
Yeah, and then we're entering a new era for crypto, one that's slower, quieter, and far more meaningful. The casino will always exist, but beneath the noise, the next big primitives are forming: identity, stablecoins, prediction markets, privacy. This is the boring phase that builds billion-dollar foundations. That right there is such an important line. This is the boring phase, but what you're actually creating and building is much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Love it. Love it. If you're tired, take a breath. Just don't walk away, because when the noise clears, it's always the ones who kept building that define the cycle. Now is actually the best time to build. Follow Expector and Universe City app. We have been here, and here we will be. And they are making some pivots. And Expector, that whole universe, has made a few pivots since the beginning, as they're really trying to figure it out.
If you look at this, University, it's got an interesting spelling.
University
AI-powered learning software as a service from Web 2 to Web 3. It's an ed tech platform in virtual world, AI, DID, verified credentials, gamified education, XRPL, Polygon, EDU chain. So it's it's pretty cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. This I think is going to be big. I've seen some early stuff, and I'm pretty excited about that. But Dirk is a guy that's hung in there. He's hung around, and this is a really well done post. It's really difficult to drill it down into some small panels, but he said a lot with very little verbiage, which I can always appreciate, because you can always get too verbose, write a bunch of stuff. It's like blah blah blah. And if anybody ever puts a post out there that they don't use spaces, I want to just punch myself in the face, because man, it's like so hard to read. You're like, you lose your space, and it's like you wouldn't. But people write emails like this, Jeff. I don't know if you like work in a company where people just, they don't even reread what they wrote. They just, I'm thinking about something and I'm going to start typing it, and when I'm typing it, I'm going to think about it as I'm telling it about. And you look back at that, you're like, dude, you could have just cut that, trim that, and then boom, you have an email. But no, it's like stream of thought, dump, no spaces. No paragraphs. Like, they don't understand what a paragraph is. Like, you don't know in X you can make paragraphs. You can highlight lines,
mistakes, all sorts of things.
Insane, Jeff. Insane.
Yep.
Insanity. I wanted to run through this one real quick too.
What's that? Serdon didn't realize that Americans don't use WhatsApp. They're more and more engagement with WhatsApp, but not so much.
We did use it 15 years ago. Okay. It was very popular here about 15 years ago. And then 15 other things came on the scene, and we went squirrel. I mean, in my world, all I use with all my friends is Signal. So I've been using Signal for a bunch of years. Jeff and I use Signal. WhatsApp, I don't trust as far as I can throw it. The interface is one of the worst interfaces I've ever seen. It's gotten worse over time, never better. Signal's clean. People are like, I don't like Signal. It's hard. I'm like, dude, it's a clean interface. It's encrypted. I don't trust anything through WhatsApp. And I mean, all my friends from Europe are on there, UK, all over Europe and stuff. But and I generally use that. I talked to that's how, by the way, that's how I talked to Dirk. I talked to Dirk over WhatsApp too. That's
WhatsApp.
another thing. So it's just a WhatsApp type of thing. And there's a bunch of other people, but that's why he was like, Jim, I'm surprised you have it. I'm like, well, I have friends in Europe. That's what they use. And I couldn't be bothered. Sir John, how come I don't have yours? Give me yours. I'll throw you some shit.
Boomer rant.
Because I know if I ever needed to get rid of you, boomer rant, listen to you, boomer rant. It's not a boomer rant, dude. Boomers are using WhatsApp, son. So maybe get your stuff straight over there. The boomers are the ones using it. So I move on to the new tech, the better tech. So yeah, I was like,
I use both. I use WhatsApp and Signal.
But you use WhatsApp because you have to. I use Signal because I want to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, WhatsApp because everybody that you know. But a lot of people don't have Signal. But I tell people about Signal. I'd rather
I do too. I'm like, download it. I don't have it. I go, here's the link. Click, download.
It's easy to download.
It's a done thing.
Search it up.
It's a done deal. Okay, let's go through some of these videos. We're running out of time here, but anyway, Jeff, I don't know any word on the NFT. Is it
Sure, John's
taken
only
off
40.
or
no, it's not appearing
nothing yet, huh?
It's not showing up.
Oh, well, how about that? What's going on with that, Jeff? I don't understand what's going on with that. Let's do this.
Sometimes it's quick. Sometimes it takes a couple hours.
Yeah, it's really weird. I guess it's whatever's in the queue. Anyway, Shifty Schiff was on with what's his name? Antolopoulos. What the hell's his name? Papadopoulos. What the hell?
I know this.
Oh, Papadopoulos.
What the, no, that's I don't know what his name. Stephanopoulos.
Stephanopoulos.
Whatever.
Is quite sensitive to you.
So hang on a second. So let's just say. So he wants to know what's going on with this watermelon head, which I'd like to know.
Snuffleupagus.
What happened? Hang on a second. Why is
This
this?
matter is quite sensitive to you, but we have to talk about your watermelon head. I mean, come on. You do realize you have a weird looking head shaped like a watermelon, right?
You know what, George? That is a Republican talking point, and I don't want to talk about it.
But at some point, you have to talk about it, Senator. I mean, that bitch is huge, and it's literally shaped just like a watermelon.
Can we just talk about something else, please? I can talk shit about Trump if you want.
We'll get there, Senator. First, let's talk about your pencil neck. How can you even hold that big-ass watermelon head with that tiny little pencil neck?
You know what? This interview is over, George. Thank you.
Yeah, he did not like George Stephanopoulos.
He did
talking
not
about
like that at all.
A giant watermelon head. Jeff, I saw this video and I must have watched it like 3 times. I think you're going to enjoy this. Here's the new New York. Here we go. Ready? Damn. Damn. He was having none of that, Jeff.
Was not happy.
He was having absolutely none of that, you know. So there's a lot of talk on
like the echo.
Apparently they're going to end the shutdown. I'll talk about that, but at first I was against the filibuster, Jeff. I don't know how you are on the filibuster about ending it, because the point, listen what Trump says about it first, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Here we go.
The way to do it for the Republicans is to terminate the filibuster. They call it the nuclear option. This is the second form of nuclear. Very good, very good. This is a good form. This is not a bad form.
Yeah,
I would have been in favor of that a long time ago. But the Democrats are going to do that. And most of you will admit the Democrats are going to do that. So why aren't we doing it?
So he goes through some other things too. I didn't realize there's music on that, so I went through that. But he's basically saying like the Democrats are going to do it, man. As soon as they get back in power, they're going to nuke it. They're going to get rid of it.
That's what they want to do.
Why don't they get rid of it and then right before the midterms, put it back in place?
That's right.
Right? Why not? Because everyone's like, well, the Republicans lost in New Jersey. Meanwhile, that guy was up by 10, 12 points
Those
In
other
Virginia, it was a
shenanigans.
very close race, but Winsome Sears, some polls showed her up. Here's what I think, Jeff. Do you trust these liberal blue states as far as you can throw them when it comes to election integrity? I
No.
don't.
No, it's already been proven that they have zero integrity, right? We've seen it firsthand in Broward. Broward, we had to actually march on the supervisor of election. Got out there. There were people here that were extremely outspoken. We almost lost the governorship because of the shenanigans and the cheating that was going on at the supervisor of election in Broward County. That was a number of years ago. Then we've seen 2020. We know the shenanigans. We know the cheating. We saw it in Michigan. We saw it in Arizona. We saw it in Pennsylvania. We saw it in New York. We saw it coast to coast. And it's been proven over and over and over again, right? They keep bringing it up and they find exactly the methodology they do it, from ballot stuffing to removing ballots to machines that are broken. It incidentally in heavily Republican areas, to ballots that are misprinted, to lack of supplies, to lack of ballots in Republican areas. And it's so well orchestrated across the board because as a whole, these supervisor of election offices at that level of government, they're typically run by leftist, activist Democrats, right? They're not run by conservatives. Here, the supervisor of election was taken over. The governor had to remove the supervisor of election in Broward County because of everything she did. And the way she ran it, the way they get away with it, like with her, she kept saying it's super confusing. So everything at her level was disorganized to a level of chaos, but it was purposeful chaos. And they did it because they knew that through the chaos, they could orchestrate the theft of the election. Allen West, a number of years back, when he was running, he was very close and he pushed, and even the RPOF wouldn't back it up at the time, which was a sham. After they reworked his district and tried to force him out, and that's a whole other conversation, but he had called it out and said there was some mismanagement at the electoral process in terms of how they were managing and running things, and yet it fell on deaf ears. And we're seeing it again in New Jersey. We're seeing it, again in New York, in Virginia. You can see that the outcome doesn't match the way the outcome actually fell, even though they're heavy blue states. But it still just doesn't make sense that we're going to continue to allow the theft of election or the theft of votes, right? The Democrats are real big when it's like count every vote. But what does the media do? The media calls it immediately when the Democrat's winning. They're like, oh no, the Democrat won, right? You don't have to count anymore. And the media is reporting on the win while there's still people in line, while there's still, votes that need to be counted. And they haven't counted everyone, and they do it based on a small margin. And they did it, and they've done this. And this is another way of cheating the system. And it needs, all of this stuff has to come to an end. And I know that, they're routing them out, they're bringing it to light. But the states have to take responsibility for this injustice of the system. Trump can't do everything. He's trying to do a lot at his level, but the states the Republicans have to get balls, and they have to start taking control of their state politics. And they're just not willing to. They just want to keep going. Instead, they would love to bring all these illegal immigrants in from all over the world to just sow chaos on the land. I think that's what they would prefer to have, because that's another plot, right? They've gone after all the minority groups, the Democrats, and realized that people, when they finally see who they really are, they no longer want to vote for them. So now they're importing them. They're importing the votes, and that's going to turn and blow up in their face too. Because at the end, even the people they're bringing in are be like, we don't want to vote for you.
Right. Well, it does seem like I'm looking at some updated news here. I saw somebody who put this in there. Was that the vote? 56-40. Was that a new vote tonight? I don't know. You got to give some more context.
I don't know.
about it.
I don't know where that came out.
Well, I don't know, because I did see that they reached a deal, and that was 21 minutes ago in this news article. So break a Democrat reach the deal with the Senate GOP leaders.
That's
I
right.
think what they're going to do is they're going to keep it open for 3 more months, and then what they're going to do is that they're going to have a vote on the ACA, just
What's that? You're talking about?
the Obamacare stuff.
Oh, right. They just
So
need to
that's
keep that.
what they're saying. So I
Get
don't
rid of it.
know.
They've corrupted the healthcare system so bad. I mean, it's such
it's
it's
horrible.
such a sham. It is such a travesty. You know, there's such a dichotomy in healthcare. There's cash-based medicine, which is progressing at warp speed right now into biohacking and all these things that you can do to change your body, to change the age of your body, like the actual age of, you know, if you do a comparative to other people of your age group, you know, where do you fall on that scale? And it's such a travesty. You know, the whole medical system has been set up along this path of sick care, and they want you as a dollar sign to move through the system, because eventually you end up either surgery or hospitalization, and they want you there. They want you to follow that path. They want you to keep coming back and get a disease that is incurable, or, you know, you need to be on pharmaceuticals that cost a shit ton of money, that eventually put you in the hospital, that eventually might lead to surgery, because obviously the surgeons need to make money, because if there's another solution out there that prevented surgery, obviously the surgeons would be out of business. So it's just this vicious cycle that
Horrible, Jeff.
and Obamacare is a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going cross state lines to make healthcare competitive, they're like, here, let the government do it. Okay, well, healthcare is not competitive anymore. No one has an incentive to get better, to improve the product that they're delivering you. I mean, that's the end. That's what DS was also. I mean, kind of the reference point of that is you have to keep progressing and building, but we also need competition. You need to have a competitive edge. You have to keep getting better and better. And Obamacare set it up so that, it's like, shit, we don't even have to compete, right?
Steve Willett says, what's the solution? Digital ID? No. Problem, reaction, solution. But Art has it right here. It's LifeWave X39. Hit Art up if you want to learn more.
That's it.
Here we go. Fabio from the Zowdow said, hey, boys, how's your X account going? The Zowdow account still down despite all the hefty fees. This is a crazy thing. You know, when you're that level of account for a company, you pay a lot of money every month, and there's nobody to escalate it to. So little to zero support from the X team. Appreciate that. Thank you, Fabio. Appreciate that. So hopefully that should be being resolved. But it's just, if you're paying money for an account, there should be somebody to escalate it to. Or if you're going to have AI, why don't you have AI that, you know, does customer servicing and at least help people? Because it's like, you know, we saw, like, when Jungle got his account taken, other people, their account 2-3 months to get it back. When people are taking it over and running scams, it's a little too much, Jeff. It's a little too much all the time. Mark Smithson says that Hussein destroyed the U.S. in so many ways. Yeah, he did. But here's a video on somebody who talked about Mandami. Here we go.
Mamdani just posted a video saying that his first order of business on day one is going to be for the city to take ownership of people's private properties. And how is he going to go about this? First of all, he's going to make it so unaffordable for these landlords to make any repairs because of rent freezing. If you freeze the rent, then the landlords eventually won't be able to pay for the repairs because they're not getting the same income, they're not making the same amount of money as they used to. Number two, he's then going to give these people fines because they're not doing the repairs. And these fines are going to be huge. Then once the city comes back in and says, oh, you know what? You didn't do the repairs. You didn't pay the fines. We are now going to take your property because you are an unfit landlord. The city's going to take the property, seize it, take ownership, and then they're going to turn that property into subsidized housing. Who's that housing going to benefit? It's going to benefit criminals. It's going to benefit illegals. It's going to benefit the prostitutes. It's going to benefit all of the people that Mamdani is going to let out of the prisons. And on top of it, there aren't going to be any police because that's his other order of business, is going to be to defund the police. Basically, Mamdani is turning New York City into a third world country. Meanwhile, white liberal women are literally like parading around singing the Little Mamdani song, thinking that they did such a good job. When you live next to criminals and you're paying $6,000 a month and they're not, then we'll see how happy you are.
Well, wait till the rapes happen. Wait
Stupid.
till the
Right.
rapes, the groping, the all the sexual assaults happen. The crime's going to go through the roof because he also wants to decriminalize. Remember they did that in California. Anything
Oh,
under
yeah.
1,000, so making only $2,000. The police aren't even
How'd
going to
that
buy.
work out?
Half the police aren't even going to have jobs anymore. This is what happens when socialism takes over. Don't worry, it's going to be good for the 1 or 2% that are at the top, and everybody underneath it. Good luck.
That's right.
So
Good.
it's going to be an absolute shit show. And Jeff, you know, we're going to be there to cover all of it.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
100%. This is a. I got a. Oh, hang on. I got to turn the music down. This is AI, of course, but it's Sydney Sweetie. I don't know if you caught the interview. The interview where she was the liberal was trying to get her to say, "Don't you feel bad for being white?" type of thing, and she was just like, she kind of came back and said, "When I got something to say, I'll let you know." She's basically threw it right back in her. So they're giving her all kinds of incoming. I've never had more respect for anybody in Hollywood that, especially somebody young who gives zero F's about these people. So she has a sign she's holding. It says, "Cry more libs." Now she's blowing them a kiss here, but there's your kiss. And then check out this next one here that she comes out, sign she holds up. Trump 2028. Of course, that's AI, but it's fantastic. I love it.
That's really
Nonetheless, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, you gotta love that. All the time.
Steve Willett said, "My AI robot has shifty eyes. I don't trust him."
Yeah, geez, I mean, I don't know. It'd be weird. Like one day your AI agent, you know, your robot that's doing all your stuff and heavy lifting and manual labor, cutting the lawn, whatever, just goes, "You know what, Dave?" Locks you out. Just like on Space Odyssey 2001. "Sorry, Dave, I've locked your ass out." Look at this guy. Now, this guy showed up to vote. This is for the election. This is this past Tuesday in New York City. Look at this.
So you don't want my ID? How do you know it's me then?
We can look it up by manual.
I could just give you a fake name.
We could give you up by manual.
Signature. We check signatures.
Yeah.
If you don't check,
Jeff.
Bullshit. They check signatures.
Jeff, have you ever gone
fucking shit?
You know when you have to sign something? I always just put a giant X, and they go, "Is that your signature?" And I'm like, "Are you? Is there an official person checking signatures?" "Well, they might check." I'm like, "Nobody checks signatures ever."
Right.
Sometimes I put a squiggly line. Sometimes I put a happy face. They go, "Is that really?" I'm like, "Okay, are you gonna? Am I not gonna be able to buy it because I didn't sign it properly? Who knows?" This guy's
who's gonna check it?
Listen to the bullshit.
At what level? What level of the corporate structure and government structure and banking? So if a corporation says is that your signature? Okay. How is the corporation going to even know? Are they looking? If they look on the back of your credit card, maybe, but then the back of your credit card, if you don't sign it, you know, back in the day, they weren't supposed to take it. Then you were supposed to sign it. What if you just have a line through the credit card? Here's my signature. There.
Who cares?
Exactly.
I sign it different every time. Sometimes I just write a bunch of squiggles, and then I do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's
if you ever been like, speaking of boomers, if you ever been like in a checkout, like sometimes grocery stores will still, I don't know why they do this, they still accept checks. And this never fails. Like I'm trying to get out of there. The person has 3 things. I jump in that line, go, "This is great." You know, sometimes they don't have the self-checkouts. If they don't, I always do that. But you get in line. The person is filling this thing out like it matters, like it's going to get framed and blown up and put on a giant museum wall somewhere. And when it comes time to doing their name, they're doing like this, kind of when Trump signs those executive agreements. And I'm looking over, I'm like, they're still signing their name? And then they do this, and then they hand it to them. And I'm like, "God, please." My wife laughs at me. She's like, "When's the last time you owned checks?" I go, "I think it was like 1999. I go, "I've been paying online for this like 96. 97. I go, sometimes if I've ever had to get a check, I have to go get a bank check, and that's a pain in the ass. But who uses checks anymore? It's ridiculous. Go ahead, call me boomer in the comments again. Go ahead, I dare you. Call me boomer in the comments again.
I definitely don't have a checkbook.
Here we go. So listen to the rest of this.
I give you ID.
If you don't check ID, how are you gonna know this is our signature?
Manual entry. No worry.
We had the signature on file. Show him when he signs. When he signs.
First 3 letters of your last name?
You got it, right?
First 3 letters of your last name?
Yeah. I gave you my ID. Why don't you use it?
Just first 3 letters of your last name, sir.
Shit, you guys making this difficult.
We're not making it
UDD.
that alone.
Is he giving you his ID to look at?
Yeah, I gave it to him.
Okay,
so you
give
can
it
use
to him.
So you
Give
can
it.
use
We're not supposed to
No,
ask
we're not
for
supposed
it.
But I'm giving it to
I
you
know.
so that it's easy.
We're not supposed to ask.
What a bunch of
And you
fucking idiots.
think the socialists got elected? They're not supposed to ask for your ID, so they can bust hundreds of people in. They can bust, all kinds of strange characters in.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Because I
right.
could be somebody who's just pretending to be somebody.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think you want me to pretend.
We're not supposed to ask.
It doesn't
We're not
matter.
supposed to ask for identification.
How do you know it's the right person?
We have a signature on file.
I get it, but if I'm giving you my ID, it's so that you can verify for sure it's me.
I found him by his date of birth.
Who? Oh, you found him?
Yeah, by his date of birth.
That was on that table. I'm here now with this gentleman.
Start over. Go to manual entry.
Oh my God.
Put in his birthday. That's how I found him.
Put in his date of birth.
That's how they're gonna find it.
Just trying to make it easy for you guys.
Understand what we were told.
I don't care what you were told. I'm making it
not
easier for you
allowed
guys.
to ask.
But I'm giving you guys my
If
ID.
you
So
put it in front of my face, I'm going to take
I'm not gonna.
it.
Obviously, I'm not gonna do that.
No,
I'm telling you. Do you need my ID? Here's my ID. Take it. Use it. That's what it's for. Identification. To identify who I am, if I'm the right person or not.
Oh, no, wait.
They don't care, Jeff. In Florida, you get kicked out. I remember one time I went to go vote for Laura Loomer one time, and I ran all the way down there, and I didn't have my ID. And they go like, "Oh, you have your ID?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot it." They go, I'm like, "It's just a primary." They go like, "I'm like, are you really gonna make me go back?" And they're like, "You have to have an ID. We have to see it. We have to look at it. We have to validate it." Meanwhile, they're like, "No, we're not supposed to ask for your ID. How are you gonna look it up? A signature on file." What signature on file? They didn't even look at a signature on file. This is ridiculous, Jeff.
When did you sign anything? When have you signed something that they would have your signature on
when
file?
your voter registration, maybe, but do they have what's the odds they have that, Jeff?
What file are they pulling that in?
What
And
are
I
the
would say,
frickin'
okay,
odds?
pull it up in front of me. Let me see your file. Let me see my signature on file.
What are the freaking odds that they even have any of that stuff?
God,
I
they
mean,
don't
come
have
on,
any.
Jeff. I mean, do you think for 1 minute they're going to have that stuff? I doubt it. I 100% doubt it. Look at this right here. This guy, I love these kind of like people on the street. He's in New York City, and he starts asking about socialism, right? These are the dumbest humans on the planet. These people, these kids went through school. They graduated. They don't even know how to read. They never even know like basic stuff about the United States or life in general. You ask the capital of a city, of a state, they don't know it. If you ask them, where France is, they don't know. They don't know any of this stuff. But anyway, he goes there and listen to this.
Socialism means?
We're a little rocky on it.
Over 1 million New Yorkers.
They're a little rocky on it, but they voted for Mandami, okay? They're a little rocky on it. Hey, at least I'll give her some credit. She at least was honest.
Over 1 million New Yorkers voted for Zoran Mamdani, a democratic socialist.
But do they really know what socialism means?
This is the toys they shared, a children's book. Tommy had toys, but they weren't the best. He dreamed of the ones that outshine the rest.
So he made a big plan with lemons and ice. I'll sell lemonade, a fair little price.
He worked in the sun, he saved every dime. He cleaned up his stand, and he squeezed all the time.
To the store he ran with his dollars in hand. He bought racing cars and a cool robot band.
Now Tommy had toys that made people cheer, but not everyone smiled. Some frowned ear to ear. This is where it starts heating up.
Oh. So.
Why does he get those toys? Grumbled Dan. He's no better than me. We need a new plan.
And he gathered his friends and he made quite a case. Let's take his toys and split them, create a fair space.
Oh no. He just got lucky, one kid added in. Why should he get the prize while we don't even win?
Tommy was shocked, but I worked every day while you all had fun and just wanted to play.
The kids didn't care. They took what they could, saying, sharing is nice. It's for the whole neighborhood.
But soon things went wrong, as they always do, when nobody earns and just takes from a few.
No one sold lemons, no money was made. The toys broke apart and the lemonade stayed. The fun disappeared and the stand fell apart because no one had the reason to make a new start.
Now here comes the part where you can speak loud. Does Tommy deserve his toys, or should they be shared with the crowd?
If you had a vote and you had a say, what would you decide and how would you play?
So do you think that Tommy should have to share his toys with the other kids that didn't work as hard as him?
I don't think so, because the only reason he worked to make his toys is because he didn't have the same toys as them.
Yeah, he deserves to keep his own toys. A part of my brain that wants to be like, sharing is so important and like the message is beautiful.
Yeah.
If the kids are using sharing as an idea to then steal, right? I don't know. It's, yeah, I feel...
Interesting.
I feel...
But conflicted inside.
I feel a little conflicted.
Okay, okay.
I don't think they should take them.
I think that if Tommy feels in his heart that he can share, like he should share, but I don't think that any of them are entitled to using his toys.
Who did you guys vote for in the elections, if I may ask?
Mamdani.
Mamdani?
Yeah, I support Zoran. I also lean towards Mamdani.
I'm more leaning towards Democratic.
Team Zoran?
Yeah. I voted for Mamdani as well.
Okay, and why did you vote for Mamdani?
He's a pretty fun personality. He's got a kind heart.
So we're just here for the vibes, no policies?
Yeah.
Do you know what socialism means?
We're a little rocky on it.
Oh my God, what a great video.
That's a fantastic video. When they sort of discover, well, you don't say it's socialism, but they don't think it's a good idea for somebody to give up what they worked for, then all of a sudden they don't like it. But hey, you know, they're all for it in the beginning. I mean, it's just funny. Socialism is fine if you run out of other people's money. That's exactly right. That's what famous prime minister from the UK once said. She was so spot on. Look at this right here. Sir John says Tommy should have taken all the toys from his bin and the toys be given to the children of the party secretaries. Tommy should be put in prison for praising private ownership too.
Oh
Pretty
my
much. That's kind of how it works. If only Disney. Yeah, right. If only. One day in the future, we'll need a weed boomer. There you go. Check this out, Jeff. These people ask, what are they fighting for? Listen to this.
Why are you fighting?
All right.
So my great-grandchildren can be a minority in their own country.
Why are you fighting?
So men can wear women's clothes and use their bathrooms.
Why are you fighting?
God.
So a
Crazy.
Muslim can be mayor of London.
Why are you fighting?
So men can travel by small dinghies across the English Channel.
Why are you fighting?
So my children can pay for a Marxist education and call me a racist.
Huh. It
Pretty
just tells
spot
you
on.
everything. That was spot on.
And check
Tells
out
you
this new
everything.
airlines, Jeff. What do you think about this new airlines?
Welcome to Virtue Airlines, the progressive airline for people who cancel everything except their holidays.
We offer direct flights to Cuba, China,
God.
and North Korea, but no one actually moves there, obviously. I was nervous about flying, but then my wife's boyfriend reminded me, discomfort is growth. We fly through clouds like we own the sky. Typical Western entitlement.
Gotta be careful. We offset our carbon emissions. We're feeling really bad about them, so we're emotionally net zero. This is too much.
What the heck? Who puts that stuff out?
I don't know, man. It's some of the greatest stuff ever. Thank God for AI being able to take these ideas and really turn it into something really a lot of fun. Man, it's too much. And then I want to leave you with this one, Jeff, before we get out of here. But I actually caught this whole podcast. This is one of my new favorite podcasters. But check this out. This is I thought this was really interesting guest. Here you go.
How far?
Oh, this is
You are ready for the number?
Yes.
At one point, I projected under 400 million.
What?
500 million.
So China's 1.4 billion population is a complete lie. It's
yeah.
much lower. So she was a great guest, and she brought stats. She brought a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Under 500 million.
Under 500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that they have a very similar population to the United States and China?
Yes. There's 1 billion people missing.
And this goes back to what we were saying in the beginning or earlier in the podcast with all of the fake IDs and all of this stuff being found out.
Yeah, there's possibly 1 billion people missing. It's not a demographic question, Danny. It's a mathematical question. Let me ask you. It takes a couple to have 2 children to replace themselves.
Yep.
Right? Think about it.
Yes.
If every couple produces 2 children.
The population stinks level.
Right. So do you know how many children does every woman needs to have in her lifetime in order to triple its population in 50 years?
To triple its population in 50 years, you need to have what? Let me guess. I'm terrible at math.
I'll give you the answer because
Okay.
I asked AI. It's a crazy mathematical. If a country needs to triple or grow its population by 2.5 times, let's just say 2.5 times.
Okay.
Over a span of 50 years.
5 kids.
Each woman, you're right. Each woman needs to give birth on average between 4.5 to 5.5 children.
Wow.
Okay.
And
Now, China grew its population officially from 1950. That's when the CCP took over to control. Okay. China's population in 1950 was about 500 million. In the year 2000, 50 years later, China's population was about 1.27 billion. Okay, so it grew 2.5 times, right? From 500 million to 1.27 billion. That's 2.5 times over 50 years. Over 50 years. Chinese women did not have, on average, have 5 children because of the one-child policy.
Yes.
Because of the Great Famine. Because of the Great Famine, tens of millions of people died. Because of Cultural Revolution. So China, from one political movement to another, and then to almost 4 decades of single-child policy, there's no way Chinese women had 5 kids. Actually, the average fertility rate for each woman was 1.7 for the 30 year from 1990 to 2020. Okay, Chinese average fertility rate is probably 2 from the 50 years. So it's a mathematical question. There's no way Chinese women gave birth to 5 kids from the time the CCP took control to year 2000. That's my argument number 1.
Okay.
So there's no way China could have reached 1.27 billion people by the year 2000.
Right.
Okay?
And why did they implement the one-child policy in the first place?
They thought they have too many people.
Did they really think they had too many people, or were they just trying to project?
I think the country was on the brink of bankruptcy. They could not afford to raise that many people.
Okay.
And then the second question, that was a mathematical question. And anyone who's in statistics can calculate that. Second question is a comparative study. India in 1990 had a population of 900 million, or about 900 million, which is only 200 million under China's population of 1.1 million, or 1.1 billion.
In 1990?
1990.
Okay.
There were only 200 million people apart.
Yes.
Within 20%.
Okay.
Okay. Now, over the next 30 years, China's fertility rate, according to the government, is 1.7, meaning every woman gives birth or gave birth to 1.7 kids. India's fertility rate is double that, is over 3. Okay? So how could, 30 years later, so now we're in 2020, how could China still have more people than India?
Right. They wouldn't. India would pass them.
Mathematically, it's impossible. So I asked AI, how many people should China have, assuming their fertility rate is correct in the year 2020? Right? AI gave me a.
There you go. There you go. By the way, that's Danny Jones' podcast, and it's great. I listen to a lot of his podcasts. He has all kinds of weird conspiracy theory people on there and all kinds of cool people on there like that. They're just really good conversations.
So I Sergio saying, after I've counted for myself, I seriously asked myself how many people are actually on Earth. For real. And you think about it, you go to a place like Canada, and there's 30 million people. the population of Canada is supposed to be 30 million.
Right.
You go to
UK is 60.
California, California is 35 million.
Right.
UK
Florida
60.
is 22 or 23
27.
million.
Yeah,
I think it's 22 or 23 million.
Soon
New
to be
York's like
more
20,
than that
21
because of
million.
New York. But yeah, so all of those things. And then do we know the actual population of, what's going on in these countries that they're now mass importing people from, right? They're changing the demographic significantly. Forget about, race and all of that, but just the mentality, right? The cultural differences. You take someone from a third world country and you just dump them in mass numbers into a first world country. What do you think is going to happen? Right? Everything is going to be turned upside down. Now they're seeing these populations of people. They're selling stuff off the street corners, right? They're haggling in the streets, right? Off the sidewalk. There's all these street vendors. Who knows what, if they're selling cat, dog, meat, who knows what they're selling, because in these other countries, they get what they get. And now they're importing them in. And if you have a couple of people coming in and you're regulating it and who they're, who they are, and it's controlled and they want to be there and they're passionate about being there, that's different, and then eventually the cultures tend to stick together, and you see that anywhere, but then the next generation becomes like in the United States, right? People that, fled Cuba and Venezuela, many of them didn't speak English. You go to Miami, not a lot of English for generation number one. Generation number two, the kids are now bilingual, and they might speak English with a Spanish accent, completely bilingual, and they're, part of society. And it's interesting, right, to see that dynamic. Same thing from Italy, same thing from a lot of, the Arab countries, same thing from everywhere. That first generation didn't speak English, second generation become Americans. But now when you mass migrate these people, the only purpose is to displace the culture, because you can't take an opposing culture in mass numbers of people and just deposit them. And
That's
so
right.
and so now we look around, what are all the numbers were, the numbers that we've been given based on census, all this stuff is just so inaccurate.
I like
Are there
people staying in their
1.2 billion or 500 million?
I like people staying in their own shithole countries, because they tend to make the other countries shitholes. Smith is bringing up a good point. He says, yeah, but there's 500 million Chinese in U.S. universities. This is funny. He says, they say that 99% of the population is stupid. I'm glad to be a member of the other 2%. Very good.
It's true.
Well, it's
look at that. Croatia's 3.8 million with about 300,000 Nepalese and Indian. What a disaster. Don't know how to use the toilet, food delivery, manual work. That's it.
right. Stay in your
You
shithole
bring them
country
in.
where they pick it up with their hands and they put it in big bins. Please.
But that's how it's done there. You bring them into new culture. There has to be an assimilation process. If you
No,
don't,
there is no
if there's no assimilation process, and you're just going to let them go free, just do what you want, live the way you lived, except now you're in our country, that doesn't work. And it's been proven to not work.
Just
across
ship
the
everybody
board.
back to where they came from. That's what's the
And
purpose
start
of language, culture, borders? If you're just gonna destroy it, I don't understand it anymore. It really.
It's
Willett says
meaningless.
there's supposed to be more millionaires in India than the population of Australia.
That's true. That's 100% true. If the population, when I was doing a lot of work there, I met with lots of people, government officials and everything. And it was interesting because they broke down the population. And let's say it was 1.2 billion. And they said there are about 200 million people wealthy, beyond wealthy. Right. Then there are maybe 300 million that would be considered, middle class to upper middle class. And then the rest were in poverty, different levels of poverty, from kind of lower middle class all the way down to completely impoverished, where they lived under the bridges.
Completely, Jeff.
I was literally living under bridges. It was crazy.
Then van down by the river.
The number of people that I saw there, whether, when we were in Chennai and Mumbai and no matter where we went, just the sheer volume of people was astonishing to me. It was crazy to see how many people were there. I don't know. I didn't
crazy. The fact that it's 17 minutes past the hour, that's crazy.
How did that happen?
I'll tell you what happens. We talked too
We
much.
didn't even
That's
get
what
an
happens.
NFT. We did talk too much. And the NFT still didn't do its thing.
Oh, we couldn't have given away if we wanted to, but that's all the time we have, guys. We're going to be back
Don't
on
take away
Wednesday
my-
night.
That's right.
No, you can keep your kebabs. Just
Better not take away the
shoot,
kebab.
go. I just don't understand the whole theory of trying to turn everything into a shithole third world country. Like, where's the advancement in society? You know, you like some societies never advance past a certain point, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that, you know, we like our modern freedoms and comforts, and it's what we want. You know, we don't need.
Let's
people
help them
coming in here.
modern if they want to modernize.
Yeah, if they want, then good luck. If you don't, then
Not
you know,
here.
third world's your thing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. I don't know what to tell these people. But that's all the time we have. We'll be back on Wednesday night. That's all we have. Chip and
What
Jeff.
time?
Ready, Jeff?
What time? 8 p.m.
Oh,
Eastern Standard Time.
8 p.m.
All right,
Same
that's
schedule
all.
for 6 years, Jeff. Come on, man.
Some people get it
We're gonna
wrong.
have Jungle Inc. on. I've been talking to Jungle. He's like, "What's your schedule?" I'm like, "Bro, it's the same schedule for 5 years now. Damn it." He's on the West Coast, so he's like, he goes, "Well, I'll do Saturday." I go, "Dude, is 5 a.m. seem a little early for you?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot you guys are East Coast." I was like, "Yeah." So
Yeah.
he'll probably be on the following Wednesday, or
Sweet.
maybe this. Oh, he can't do Wednesday. Sunday night. He'll be on the next Sunday.
Sunday.
One day only. Sunday. Ready, guys? That's it. That's all we have. Chip and Jeff. See you on the next one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.